Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the WCW Saturday Night Review for the September 22nd edition, 1990 edition of WCW Saturday Night. This is the shorter version. This is the uh, um, Rock and Roll, and not the Rock and Roll Express, but the Midnight Express versus the Southern Boys, and of course Jim Cornette managing the Rock and Rolls. This is kind of the beginning of their feud a little bit. Obviously, Armstrong and Smothers have been teaming together for a while. The Midnight Express, probably one of the greatest tag teams of all time, certainly the greatest tag teams of the 80s, and we see a bunch of leapfrogs, a nice monkey flip by Smothers, and ultimately Smothers comes up and under, and or actually by Steve Armstrong. Beautiful flying clothesline. Match worth going out of your way to see. Just the selling is phenomenal, and the story is well done. Jim Cornette in a canary yellow jacket, getting himself under control. Basic things there, and ultimately hard shot, super basic stuff, and ultimately getting things under some level of control, and uh, ultimately kind of getting things there. Uh, and, I mean, that's pretty basic run. And finally, we see both guys tie up Eaton and Smothers, basically, basic run there. And hard shots along the way. And, um, you know, Stan Lane in control of the match for a good bit there, and ultimately Lane is taken down. The heels take over with martial arts chops and other things on Tracy Smothers. Smothers does a good bit of selling throughout, and again with a shorter version of the program here. Not exactly the best of situations. Takes some roundabout and kind of trying to pull him forward, and ultimately getting things in a clean and clear directive, as it were. Then we see Stan Hansen up next. A bunch of highlights in a match with Lex Luger. Luger had been taken out in previous weeks with the overall run there. Um, and Luger had been taken out. Uh, Pablo Gonzalez defeating Stan Hansen via disqualification. 121. Hansen began choking his opponent during the bout. Hansen also got to insert promo on facing U.S. champion Lex Luger at Halloween Havoc. Hansen is seen to be crazy here, hits the lariat, and a bunch of chokeouts and other basic stuff here. Also, we go to there's a Master Master new vignette from the Black Scorpion, in which Scorpion glances over the world champion Sting and uses confidence because of Scorpion's antics, and Sting would have to beat the Scorpion again. Jimmy Garvin is also introduced Little Richard Marley, Rocky King, and featuring Ross conducting an arena interview with Sting, in which Sting said he would still looking for the Scorpion, including Missy Hyatt promoting the following night's episode of the main event, and featuring Ross conducting a closing arena interview with Sid Vicious, and also with Arn Anderson regarding Vicious facing Sting at Halloween Havoc, and Anderson facing U.S. Tag Team Champion Scott Steiner. Then we go to the Junkyard Dog defeating Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker with a headbutt at 145. Junkyard Dog is the junk food dog here, not doing well at all. Um, you know, a couple of shots, and ultimately some clotheslines, headbutts, and the power slam. El Gigante coming out with the Junkyard Dog just to introduce himself to things here. Wendell Cooley defeats Tim Parker with a super kick, 606, during the bout. It's announced that Teddy Long would appear the following night on the main event at the guest of the Danger Zone, ultimately, and it's pretty simple there, and the the uh, match going 606 isn't really necessary. Wendell Cooley does a bunch of things. Tim Parker getting hit with a super kick is just a weird way to win the match, but punch kick and attempted uh, Samoan drops, backbreakers, and the like. Cooley, kind of a guy who's a little bit out of shape after the other Moondogs run, and again, he was the original Demolition Smash, and that was kiboshed. And so I don't know that his career ever fully came around again in a really awesome way. Running the gauntlet, round two, NWA US Tag Team Champion Scott Steiner with the US Tag Team Champion Rick Steiner, pinning Ric Flair with the TV Champion Arn Anderson, 10:42 after Anderson dropped Scott with a DDT behind the back of the referee, Nick Patrick, with Rick then hitting the Steiner line on Flair as Patrick speaks with Anderson on the floor during the bout. Thunderbolt Patterson joined the commentary team, during which he noted he would be in the Steiner's corner the following night at the Omni as they faced the Samoan SWAT team. Stipulation stated if Scott won the match, he'd advance to face Arn Anderson the following night on the main event in the third and final match of the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet series basically trying to get people to care about the talents, as it were. This match, though, Ric Flair and Scott Steiner, at this particular juncture, might have been the genesis, or at least the early stages of some of the frustration point between the two. Needless to say, 10-minute match here, worth going out of your way to see, in the sense that Ric Flair is, without a doubt, super, just able to get a lot out of Steiner at the time. Basic stuff, punch kick, super simple, and ultimately Flair kind of hanging out and going with Steiner for that long is a pretty good run. 10 minutes for Scott Steiner in 1990 with Ric Flair is a godsend, and honestly, injuries, I think, hurt Scott Steiner more than anything. He easily could have been turned into a mega heel in 1992. Bill Watts wanted to do that, didn't come together. Flair, though, still trying to draw good matches out of people. Anderson obviously cheering Flair on at ringside, also getting Flair ready for tag team competition. Basic Flair match, lots of simple stuff. The backbreaker by Steiner gets things under control for him. Tilt-a-whirl style run, and it's simple and ultimately very basic punch kick, and ultimately they go to the outside, brawl on the outside. Scott Steiner is brawling with Ric Flair, sends Flair into the guardrail, back around. Flair does the chop, snapmare, drops the knee, and Flair slows the match down. Definitely worth going out of your way to see. Probably might be the first Flair versus Scott Steiner match ever. And of course, Flair in 1990 not exactly feeling his most confident, but the transition from the 88-89 version is certainly notable here in the fall of 1990. But anyway, we kind of go forward there, and Scott Steiner eventually, with the help of his brother, does get the victory, and that will close this particular show. We'll be back with more right after this.